And as we continue to get you the latest coming in, the developments at this hour in the ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan. India and Afghanistan have rejected Pakistan's claims of an Indian missile attack on Afghanistan. I'm quoting, Afghans don't need to be reminded of Pakistan's terrorism. The Afghanistan Defense Ministry has also issued a statement saying there is no truth to such claims. This as the Saudi foreign minister, remember, spoke to his Indian and Pakistani counterparts, calling for de-escalation and an end to military confrontation between the two countries. Saudi diplomat also affirming Saudi Arabia's commitment to the security and stability of the region and its close and balanced relations with both friendly countries. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi held a meeting with the Defence Minister and the NSA, CDS, chiefs of all three services in New Delhi. Jammu and Kashmir government has announced that an ex-gratia relief amount worth rupees 10 lakhs will be granted to the families of deceased who were killed in the recent Pakistan shelling. In a post on X, the Jammu and Kashmir CMO expressed grief towards the deceased and wrote, deeply pained by the loss of innocent lives due to recent shelling from Pakistan. My government is taking every possible measure to minimize the hardship of our people. Earlier, India hit back hard at Pakistan after its drone attack bids across the western sector, carrying out precision airstrikes on Pakistan Air Force bases in Rafiki, Murid, Chaklala, Rahim Yar Khan. In a special briefing on Operation Sindoor, the government said Pakistan's military installations at Sukur and Chunia, a radar site at Pasrur and Sialkot aviation base were also targeted.
Calibrated response, Indian Armed Forces carried out precision attacks only on identified military targets. These included technical infrastructure, command and control centers, radar sites and weapon storage areas. Pakistan military targets at Rafiki, Murid, Chaklala, Rahim Yar Khan, Sukur and Chunia were engaged using air-launched precision weapons from our fighter aircraft. Radar sites at Pasrur and Sialkot aviation base were also targeted using precision munitions. While carrying out these responses, India ensured minimum collateral damage.
India has said Pakistan Army has been observed to be moving its troops towards the forward areas, indicating an offensive intent to further escalation. Indian Armed Forces remain in a state of operational readiness. All hostile actions have been effectively countered and responded to proportionately. Indian Armed Forces reiterated their commitment to non-escalation, provided the Pakistan side reciprocates. And joining me on the broadcast this minute is Air Vice Marshal Manmohan Bahadur, a former Assistant Chief of Air Staff. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast. I have to begin by asking you for your comments on the latest situation as it's unfolding right now.
First of all, thank you for getting me in. The attacks last night and today morning actually was a new step actually in vis-a-vis the type of weapon systems that were used by the Pakistanis. We have responded in kind and in the same measure, so as to not escalate the situation. That's been our position every time, but we have hit them back hard, and that will how it will continue. Now there has been a lull for almost 10 odd hours right now, and nothing has happened. Now is it a lull before the storm, or is anything happening behind the scenes? I'm sure things are happening, because we know that somewhere in the morning, Secretary Rubio of the US, the NSA, and he spoke to both sides, to the Army Chief of Pakistan, the man who matters there, and our Foreign Minister. So maybe some things have happened because there is a sudden lull. However, we will have to wait. Considering the military actions that have taken place, we have struck their airfields because they tried to strike hours. We have neutralized a few of their radar installations. And that's how it is. And I'm sure that is the way it would continue. The UAVs, the type of UAVs used has also been different. They have used unmanned combat vehicles this time. They have closed their airspace totally, which was open yesterday. But that's an indication of things that things can still go haywire. And the type of missiles they use, if they have used Fateh, because what happened in the briefing was the term used high-speed cruise missile. Now, high-speed missiles, but that is an indication of an escalation that has happened. So fingers crossed, let's see what happens.
Right. Let's also talk about the significance of these precision strikes, the swift, calibrated response coming in from India after Pakistan's drone attacks across the western sector. India carrying out those precision airstrikes on the Pakistan Air Force bases.
That's right. I mean, we still don't know the damage on those airfields. There are a whole lot of videos moving around, but our statement says that we have inflicted damage on the runways, so that's what it is. And the strikes are precise. I have not seen any videos on the social media, on Twitter, of any damage having been caused to any civilian installation on the Pakistani side. But on our side, we know of the deaths that have happened in Rajouri and Poonch in the shelling that has been carrying on. So we've been very precise in our targeting and in our intent.
Right. And speaking of Pakistan's intent, keeping its civilian airports open while carrying out those drone attacks is something that had emerged last evening as well. So that is also something that has been talked about, is something that tells us a lot more about Pakistan's strategy.
That is correct, and it was commented on adversely yesterday in yesterday's briefing.
Yes.
That they were taking the shadow or the fact that they are permitting civil flights in very critical times between Karachi and Lahore and Rawalpindi, that side, towards that side, at critical times when their attacks were happening. So that is something which is hitting below the belt, using civilian airliners, civil traffic as a shadow or as a shield for military operations. But of course, they've had to cut it down now. Today onwards, their airspace is closed fully. So it implies that they want to be very clear that anything in their airspace is either theirs or ours.
Right. And before we let you go, just a quick assessment of the messaging that's come in from India all throughout, that it's not interested in escalation. On the other hand, Pakistan has continued with its escalatory provocative measures all throughout. When this all has been a result of Pakistan's cross-border terror and the Pahalgam terror attack, and India retaliating and responding to the same through Operation Sindoor.
That's right. We told them right up front that we struck and that terrorist installations were targets. And they were the only targets for our response to Pahalgam. They took it otherwise and went on an escalation spree. So our messaging has always been the same. Our briefings by the MEA and the service representatives have been precise and so very professional. There is no jingoism. There is no making fun of the other side, but being absolutely diplomatic in our language. So that shows the maturity level with which we are handling the situation. In case any one of you have seen what happened in the press conference yesterday, will be able to see the stark difference that is happening. So our messaging has been very clear. We will strike targets which support terrorism originating from your country. And if you target anything in our country, we will respond in kind of a similar nature. If we up the ante, because today's briefing also said that there have been some ground movements that have been noticed on the Pakistani side, that's not a good indication. I'm sure we're taking steps accordingly.
Right, and India taking forward that message and saying that any future act of terror will be considered an act of war against India and will be responded to accordingly. That's the message coming in from India, the statement coming in from India just a short while back as well. We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us in the broadcast with your perspectives.
Thank you.